A very good afternoon to all my chartered accountants friends out here. Warm welcome to all. Here we are on a very special session today regarding unlocking emotional intelligence for trust, transformation, and teamwork. Thank you everyone for taking your time and coming out to for our webinar. Our webinar is especially based on emotional intelligence since we are already focusing on AI, the uses of AI, and other things. So this topic is of prime importance, and we would request everyone to be here, to be patient to the listener. We have our eminent speaker as well as our special moderator also here. So this webinar is being organized by the Committee on Promoting Work-Life Balance. I, CA Priyambada Chabra, Secretary of the committee, welcomes you all for this webinar. The committee is constituted. This is a new committee which is being constituted in this council year 2025 and 26 with an objective to see towards the well-being of our chartered accountant. We have our very different and very common committees. Our technical like ASB, GTC, IGTTC, Indirect Tax Committee, Direct Tax Committee, Accounting Standard Boards, Auditing Standard Boards, which is all they are looking over towards the technical aspects of our profession, our professional excellence, helping us out how to build our professional excellence in many spheres of our life. But yes, coming towards the well-being of our chartered accountants, we chartered accountants are almost every time busy with our works, with our deadline, our tax audit date, our GST return filing date. We're all busy with everything, but we forgot our life, we forgot our well-being, we forget our special time. We have our family, we have our friends, we have our time apart from work. So it is very important to manage our time along with our work, competing towards the professional excellence. We as chartered accountant already knows that we are very good. We are the best in accounting, auditing, taxation work. But yes, we have to be best for ourselves also. Focusing on towards our hobbies, focusing on towards our well-being, our family time is also equally important. This committee is being headed by our chairman, C.A. Jecheraji, who is the chairman of the committee. He has been taking so many initiatives which we are already running through, and our vice chairman, C.A. Sridhar Mupalla sir, who's also taking all these initiatives and helping us out to run this committee in a better way. We have started many initiatives. The first and the foremost initiative is our fit CA movement, where ICAI Committee on Promoting Work Life Balance conduct daily virtual yoga session, which is in the morning, from 6 to 7 a.m. So at the click of a button, you can see a video of yoga and you can try it at home from the morning 6 to 7 every day from Monday to Saturday. Plus, we have a virtual Zumba session, which is from 8 to 9 on Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. That they are also done on a regular basis. We have our trainer, Zumba trainer, who teaches you, who boost you, and make your day energetic so that we can go to a work for healthier life, healthier work. So thank you so much for coming out here. I would request everyone, you can ask all the queries from eminent speakers, and post your queries on the chat box so that we can reply at our end. And if you have any suggestion for Committee on Promoting Work-Life Balance, you can always come to us, write to us at wlbc@icai.in. Thank you so much. Rather not taking much time, I would request CA Praveena ma'am to take over the session. She is our moderator, and the speaker of our session is CA Nirla Bhattji. He's also an eminent speaker, especially joined here from the Qatar. So, warm welcome to both of you, sir and ma'am. So, over to you, Praveena ma'am.
Yeah, thank you very much, Priyamanda ma'am, for giving me opportunity to have an interaction with Nilab Bhatt sir. It is very interesting session as emotional intelligence and CA. How I'm very eager to know more about that. But let me first introduce the speaker of the session who has joined from the Qatar. So he is a group financial controller from Al Mazid Zawed, Qatar, special invitee for International Affairs Committee of ICAI for 25-26. He is also former chairman of Doha chapter of ICAI and speaker as World Forum of Accountant. Yeah, we are having World Forum of Accountant in the January end also. So yes, and he is a speaker in diverse professional associations. So he is having experience of 20 years in banking, infrastructure, trading, and FMCG. So he is from industry, but very much interested in upskilling and social life also. He has okay, he's a former chairman of the Doha chapter, which earned first prize for Best Overseas Chapter Award 2021. And he's instrumental in having first year MOU in Qatar between ICA and Qatar Financial Center. As I said, he's a world speaker at World Forum of Accountant, where more than 6,000 professionals attended, and he's moderator in exclusive sessions in ICA International Conference 2022 as regional council, various branches and various overseas chapters. He is keynote speaker and lead speaker, moderator and panelist for Business and Professional Council, Ceylon Business Builder Qatar Division Conference in Toastmasters in Qatar. Wow. He's speaker in India's success story at AIFM India at Gift City, Gandhinagar. He's having extensive interview at Charting Success with Nilep Bhatt, inspiring financial leader, and podcast Human Side of Financial Leader. Extensive video interview, chartered accountancy career path for professional excellence. So he's having a versatile career in profession as well as in social also. And he's today with Work-Life Balance Committee for speaking on the emotional intelligence. And he is also multiple time invited in various universities in Qatar and India for fireside chat as inspiring professionals. He is also mentor for professionals and students and author of professional ethics, professional articles. Uh, he is a champion speaker, second runner-up in speech context at highest level in Qatar. He's office bearer of international organizations. Yeah, okay. He's speaker at Toastmaster and also office bearer for Toastmasters International. Yeah, it's such an interesting profile, and by seeing this profile, I'm very much interested to have talk with you on the topic emotional intelligence. Over to you, sir. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Yeah, thank you very much, Pravina ji, for this very warm introduction. It's my standard profile, but very gracious of you to bring out all these small facets and achievements, whatever I did for the profession. I believe the only introduction which I have is CA Nirlep Bhatt, a chartered accountant Nirlep Bhatt, because that will remain with us for the lifetime. Designations, titles, positions may come and go, but we all should be very proud to be a chartered accountant, to be a member of the world's largest accounting institution, which we achieved recently. So just a quick tech check, although we have done it. Pravina ji, am I audible, visible? There is proper synchronization between words and the video and all, more or less fine?
Yes, everything is perfect, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So first of all, my heartfelt gratitude to the president of ICICI, Charanjot Nanda sir, for having chartered this new committee this year, which is a committee on promoting work-life balance for chartered accountants. It's his vision that I'm very humbled to contribute in a small way to his vision by way of this webinar. My special thanks and also gratitude to the chairman of the committee and my mentor, if I may say so, CA Jai Chaira sir, for giving me this opportunity, Vice Chairman CA Sridhar Mupala sir, also secretary of this dynamic secretary of this dynamic committee, Sri Priyamvadaji. She has spelled out friends. She has been, instrumental in coordinating and chartering out with a very effective and in a, if I may say so, in a very organized manner, the objective in terms of reference of this committee. Really, Priyamvadaji, kudos to you. Thanks for giving me enough time also to come for this session in a virtual manner. I am also thankful to all the tech support team and other people under CM Priyamvadaji. Thank you for all this webinar. So let's start it, and let me share my screen. So, CA Pravinaji, is my screen is visible with the title, name and all, fully visible?
Yes, it is visible.
Okay, fine. So, this is the title of the today's topic. And over the next 1.5 or nearly 2 hours, 1.5 hours from now, 1 hour 45 minutes, we'll understand that what is the emotional intelligence is all about. Why we call it that emotional intelligence has, from the buzzword, it has become the business advantage. Yeah. So why it is of so prominence for the professionals, for like all of us, and how we can further strengthen the trust, build a very effective and high performance team, and of course ensure the transformation with the help of transparency into the organizations, into our firm, between the various stakeholders, between your clients, between the other stakeholders of the profession, right? So I will have, I don't want to have it in a complete monologue, right? So I will, ask kind of some of the questions or some of the feedbacks, or just to assess your understanding about it, because as Priyamvadaji said, it's not a technical topic at all. This is a topic which is applicable to all the chartered accountants, or to all the students, to other professionals also, right? So it's very, very very common topic, but also very, very important topic, right? So, please, as far as possible, please participate actively, submit your answers in the chat box and all. And I would request Pravina ji, whenever I ask something and some answer come, please, we'll wait for a minute or two and all. Please, you can please speak about it, right?
Yes,
I think
definitely.
Priyamvada ji, that
I will
is
share.
possible, right? The tech arrangement wise.
No, sir, they cannot speak, but yes, they'll post the answers
No,
over
no,
there on chat box.
I'm telling to Pravina ji to speak.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
It is
absolutely.
possible for me to share the questions by the audience. I will
Right.
on their behalf.
Yeah. Please. Okay. Fine. So, I am joining from Doha, Qatar, a very beautiful and I would say the country which I am very proud of, and I call it a very peaceful, progressive, and prosperous nation. Timing here over there is 2.5 hours behind India time. So I am always proud of the fact that India is ahead than me as far as the timing is concerned, and why not as far as in many other aspects also. I'm thankful to all the chartered accountants friends who have joined from India. Because I'm located overseas, I have extended invite to many chartered accountants, in almost all the countries of the Gulf, in Singapore, in Australia. Some of the friends may join subject to the time zone constraint from US also. A few of my friends are located in Africa, especially in East Africa also. So all those who have joined, especially from other overseas countries and from every part of India, a very warm good afternoon, and thank you very much for joining and to learn a bit about this emotional intelligence, right? So this, the agenda is all about what are the importance of emotions in our life. Okay, that's what we have to understand. We'll try to understand in a little bit way as an icebreaker or that kind of thing. What are the pillars of emotional intelligence? Okay, we will see there are 5 pillars. We will see that, and please don't Google it. Let's wait till I explain, and then please participate actively into this seminar. Emotions in various facets of life. Okay, role of emotions in various facets means in various areas of life. Emotional intelligence, how to assess the emotional intelligence, there are various time-tested methods relating to it, and how to improvise upon emotional intelligence. Everybody has emotions, right? The human being, the time he or she is born, he or she is blessed with the emotions, right? So everybody has it, but how to improvise it further for our own professional growth, for own personal growth, for adding value to all those around us, right? What is the empathy, and what is the authentic leadership? Yeah, that's also very important for us to understand, and the conclusion. So as I mentioned, over the next 1.5 hours, we will discuss about all these things. And in between also, Pravinaji, I request you, apart from members' feedback or queries, what you say, if you have anything to speak, if you feel anything which can add value, you have also been a speaker on this committee, so I'm very thankful to you. Please feel free to share. Yeah, thank you for that. I always start my presentation with a sense of gratitude. So to my late Matushri, mother, Matrubhumi, which is because I am located outside India. Matrubhumi is India, our own Hindustan. And we always often forget to express gratitude to our Matru Sanstha, which is our alma mater, which is ICI, right? So my deep gratitude and I bow to my Matushri, my Matrubhumi, and my Matru Sanstha, right? There is no alternative of your mother, of your motherland, and of your alma mater, correct? So let me start with the icebreaker question to all of you friends. Okay. We do it in a very subjective way. We all are emotional, and that's the fact which cannot be denied, because we all are animals. We all are social animals, है ना? हम बोलते हैं मनुष्य एक सामाजिक प्राणी है, and because of that we all are emotional. I want to know from you that, do you think that being emotional is a strength or is a weakness? So over the next, kind of couple of minutes, I request you to put whatever you think about it. It's not a chartered accountancy exam. Okay. So please feel free to put and I may learn also some of the things from you, right? In fact, I had attended, so please, my screen is here. Whatever you feel, why you feel, whatever you want to speak, post your message that being emotional is a strength or a weakness according to you. So I was a speaker, I was a listener in one of the seminar by Ken Blanchard, a very, very renowned management trainer, okay, who has done some research on situational leadership, another excellent and very, very important aspect of leadership, situational leadership. So he came from UK and he mentioned that, as a speaker, he was a speaker, that you need not to be agree with whatever I say. So even if you disagree with something, okay, please mention. So that's what, and that's the first sign actually of an empathy, which is a part of emotional intelligence. So very simple question. Emotional होना एक strength है कि एक weakness है? Don't think about personal, professional, just as a way of life.
It depends how you look at emotions, or what is the outcome of being emotional. If being emotional, the outcome is good or great, whatever you want, it is your strength. And if being emotional, you are feeling helpless, sad, then it is weakness. It depends on person to person and how you take it.
So like a very, very prominent, distinguished chartered accountant, Pravinaji replied, we all reply whatever something is asked to us. Our standard replies is it depends, right? So it means that Pravinaji is a very, very, experienced CA. So any other reply you got, Pravinaji? Or maybe people are thinking more.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, the one statement I got in the chat that it is not related to the question.
No problem. If you feel to share, please share. No issue.
Yeah, okay. So there is how has emotional intelligence fundamentally changed the way you approach and build trust with high-stake clients, especially when delivering unfavorable news or managing complex audit?
Fantastic. Fantastic. This gentleman or a lady has covered one of the very important question or emotional intelligence. And I think he or she has covered my last slide. So I have 40 slides, but friends, don't get frightened by the number of slides. But this is very important. Okay. So
Yeah, and the
see,
another reply I got is emotion is a strength.
absolutely. Very nice. That's what we want to hear about. So, friends, please feel free to, post your response, like two of the responses we received. Now, let me elaborate on the question what is asked. Okay. The role of emotions in delivering the news, which is probably not a favorable one or a pleasant one to our clients or a stakeholder. That's how I summarize, Pravina ji, right? That is the question. That's the first question, right, Pravina ji? You are mute or so?
No, yeah, I'm not mute.
Uh-huh.
The question, no, the answer is it is a strength, and the question is how you can deal with the high stake clients when delivering unfavorable news.
That's what I'm telling. So, okay. So when we have to deliver the unfavorable news or the news which a client or a stakeholder is not like to listen with a pleasure, first thing we have to do is that we have to always start from positive. Okay. So even if we have to assess and we have to, for example, submit the performance report of somebody who is not at all good in his or her performance, still he will have something, at least some of one things of which there is a positive thing. If nothing is positive, at least a smile. Okay. At least a person will have a pleasant smile, or at least he or she is coming on time, which is a very normal acceptance. Always start from positive. So likewise, whenever you have to deliver something which is, which has attracted, for example, some kind of penalty from the department, okay, at least in that case also, make your anchor statement. Let's call it your anchor statement. Make your anchor statement, first statement, very positive. Okay. It can be even about the business growth of his or of your client. Okay. And then another thing is that when you have to deliver this kind of unfavorable news, always be more prepared. Never go unprepared in the face of to your clients or in the face of your or when you face any other stakeholders, especially when it is a not favorable. In fact, there is a beautiful book which I recommend you to read, how to handle the difficult conversation. There are some people who are very difficult to communicate with. Okay. They say that, one of the most undermined quality any professional is there, he or she very easy to communicate with. Okay, so that itself is a trait. So if somebody is not very easy to communicate with, not easy to receptive to your ideas, not easy in listening, okay, that itself is a challenge for you. How to mitigate it? As I mentioned, always start the conversation on a positive note. You have to find out at least one positive will be there. Second thing is that always go well prepared, right? So as you can deliver your argument, your point, your perspective. And probably nobody likes to listen only negative things. Okay, there is a negative things, there is a things which is unfavorable, right? But what's the way out, right? So offer the solution to the problem also. And again, end on a positive note. So we call it a sandwich method in Toastmasters or in any other forum. Okay. You start with positive, you define the fact, you present the argument or you present the way forward, you present the solution of the problems, and you end with optimism, positivity, and hope. I hope I answered your question. Pravina ji, I think that's fine.
Yeah, actually, yes. We have even now receiving the replies like controlled emotions are strength, so help you to connect, lead, and decide wisely, and uncontrolled emotions are weakness.
So I think that's a very nice word. So in between also somebody has replied that it's a strength. Being emotional, friends, I personally agree that being emotional is a strength. Because हम बोलते हैं कि डोंट बी इमोशनल, बट हिंदी में बोलूं तो जज्बात ही सब कुछ है. Why you all are here to learn about emotional intelligence? Why I am here on my holiday, right? Because I have that passion to share my knowledge, to share my perspective with my fellow chartered accountants friends. Okay, patient का जो roots है वो emotions है. We will have one slide over it, right? Another very important and nice reply I received about the controlled emotions. So friends, emotions, emotional management, emotional intelligence is all about managing, identifying, and controlling your emotions as well as others' emotions, right? So it is one of the very, very important social skills, which I say that why emotional intelligence is very important. So if you are able to control your emotions, or if you are able to direct your emotions towards higher purpose, towards some positive learning and growth, it's a great strength. And I really like that word. Kudos to the gentleman or lady who replied about the controlled emotions, right? So, and Praveena ji also has given the nice. So to summarize, yes, it's by and large, it's a strength. Being emotional is a strength. And like I mentioned in one of my replies also, that to always start from positive. So we should also start the presentation from a positive note. So that is also one of the reason. But another reply was that about delivering unfavorable news, always start from positive. Present the fact, present the way forward. Okay, don't only present the problem. Nobody would like to know only the problem, but what is the solution you are able to give as a professional, as a chartered accountant, as a practicing chartered accountant, and always also end with positivity, hope, and optimism, right? Let's move to next slide. Some of the skills, we all talk about the technical skills, right? This is the source, is the World Economic Forum. What are the top skills? The professionals with this top skills, which will be in huge demand, right? And these skills probably will not be replaceable easily by artificial intelligence and technological evolutions also. Some of our technical skills can be replaced if we are not so technological savvy by artificial intelligence, we all know. But these are the skills which will be in demand in 2025 and beyond. And why I mentioned this slide, because it's important for us to understand that roots of the skills lie in being very, very emotionally intelligent person, right? Complex problem solving skills. Yes, if you are emotionally intelligent, you can solve the problem easily. Critical thinking skills, your creativity. There is no secret that emotionally intelligent people are always great at creativity. And creativity always, as you know, leads to the invention, and invention leads to the innovation, right? So there is a cycle. Any new thinking, even in our accountancy field, even in our research field, even in our financial, analysis and research, it starts from the creativity. It leads to innovation, and finally it leads to invention, and finally it becomes innovation. One of the most sought after skills in 2025. People management. One of the pillars of emotional intelligence is not being people friendly as such, but being able to understand and manage people in a positive way, right? That's what we call the social skill, the behavioral aspect of any particular person. Coordinating with others is there. Of course, emotional intelligence is also one of the skills, right? But again, all these skills are interrelated, and roots of this lies in being a emotionally intelligent, right? Judgment and decision making. What term we use about the judgment is being a very, very sagacious or pragmatic in our dealing with others, and in being able to analyze the situation in a very judicious way, right? So that's what judgment and decision making is all about. Service orientation means service approach. Negotiation skills. One of the most favorite skills of mine, and on which I was used to be a speaker in professional skills enrichment committee and in many other overseas chapter. Negotiation skills and the cognitive flexibility. So these are the skills which will be in top demand in 2025 and beyond. Skills again, which will be immune to some extent to the technological evolution, and skills at the root of which all this lies being the emotionally intelligent, not only intelligent, but being the emotionally intelligent. And as one of the friends said over here, the skills which is having the controlled emotions. I like that word. Thank you for that. We all know the term VUCA, which is of US origin. We all say that, world is facing VUCA. World is facing the very different and defining order at every now and then. We all know, that, and especially our finance people will know that those who are into industry and even those who are into practice, okay, they will always be facing a question that every 2 or 3 years, some or other crisis keeps on hitting the world, right? We have seen before 5 years back a very one of its kind crisis, if I may say so, which was COVID. Just when we came out of the COVID, we have the geopolitical crisis. And that also geopolitical crisis is not in any 1 or 2 countries. It's in different continents. We keep on hearing what's happening between China and Taiwan. We keep on hearing what is happening in the Middle East. We keep on hearing what's happening between Russia and Ukraine. So all these are going in a simultaneous way. I'm not talking about the economic crisis, oil price crisis and other crisis, which is a quite country-specific crisis, right? Within that, we as a chartered accountant has to navigate effectively. Friends, this VUCA concept can also be applicable to our personal and professional life. That's why I mentioned over here. We have the volatility in our practice, the growth of the practice, or unfortunately at a years, at times, degrowth is not stagnant. Sometimes we will have a very high number of clients, very new areas of and very new avenues of practice will be having. Sometimes it will not be possible and we will go with the same client in a stagnant manner. There is always uncertainty to our growth, to the growth of our client. Our growth is also linked with the growth of our client, an expansion plan, which they have. Not only our client, but also the growth of our economy also, right? Because as we know, chartered accountants demand will always go in tandem. In tandem means in coordination, in line, in sync with the growth of the economy. So uncertainty there, ambiguity is there because there is immense pressure on our part also to upskill ourselves, to reskill ourselves, to manage the talent. And there is a complexity also. To all this, there is also emotional aspect attached to it because we all are social animals. Okay. Howsoever high performing we are, howsoever great number of clients we have, howsoever great talents which we have in an organization, imagine a day when you yourself are depressed due to any personal thing, right? Will you be able to perform in the same way? No. Okay. Emotions, we all are actually, it's not a very good term, but we all are actually slaves of our emotions, right? Whether knowingly or unknowingly. Emotional intelligence is all about monitoring and managing it, identifying it, and to identify root cause and improvise upon it, right? For ours as well as others' emotion. So this VUCA concept, always remember, is not only applicable to the country, to the continents, to the enterprises, right? But it is also applicable to our personal and professional lives. Now, what is the importance of emotions? We mentioned about the emotions and all. Let's go a little bit in depth into it. What is the importance of emotions? Decision making. If you are emotionally sound, if you are emotionally stable, okay, if you are a level-headed person, a very beautiful term, no? Level-headed person means equipoised person. Okay, you are able to decide things in a quicker way, in a very judicious way, right? So decision making is one of the very, very important thing as far as the effective decision making if you are emotionally stable and sagacious person. interpersonal relationship between your family, between your friends, between your professional colleagues will be strengthened if you are, emotionally strong people. Memory and learning. Can you recollect any other thing of which you remember maybe what happened 20 years back with your friends? If you have a very long-lasting friend, your school friend, with whom you may have the relationship since many years, long-lasting and stable, you will remember, right? What mischiefs you did in college and schools. Why? Because, and we have not recorded it in any diary or any hard drive or any computer. Still, we remember that what some of the things which we did in our school with our friends. Why? Because we are very emotional about it. We are emotionally attached to it in a positive manner. But same thing applies also in a negative manner, right? So, our learning and our memory, our cognitive skills will be higher for the things with which we are emotional about. That's the key learning. Then performance. Imagine a day when you are feeling blissful and peaceful within yourselves. And imagine your performance. You have not done any procrastination. You manage all and met your deadline. Why? One of the prime reason is that you are very stable. You had enough sleep. You had good breakfast. You have good interpersonal relationship with your family. So you are able to perform in a much better way. So your work performance is also related to your emotions. Imagine a day where you are under stress on some or other people. You have anger, right? Whether you know it or not, you have a jealousy. Sometimes we all are social animals. Friends love, peace, success, being blissful, being excited, being passionate, all are positive emotions, and we have it. Being jealous, being sad, being disheartened, being mistrusted, all are negative emotions. Believe me it or not, friends, also we have. Right? And that's why, otherwise, if we have only positive emotions only within us, we are called gods and goddesses, right? But we are all human beings. The key of emotional intelligence lies in the fact that how you identify it, how you identify the root cause of it, and how you remove it as far as possible, right? So imagine a day where you are stressed, where you have a fight with your colleagues or teammate or in any of your clients, and assess your performance. Of course, we have seen people are scrolling for hours to their mobile and laptops aimlessly. One of the research have shown that root cause of is lies in the very bad emotion intelligence which they have, very high amount of stress which they have, right? And that directly impacts your work performance. Of course, your mental health and your physical well-being. We have one slide that how even your physical, हम लोगों ने सुना है कि जब मैं बहुत स्ट्रेस में होता हूं और होती हूं तो क्या होता है, मेरे जॉइंट्स में पेन होता है, right? And this is a fact. So our physical well-being is also associated with it. Self-awareness and your creativity and innovation. As I already mentioned, if you are emotional, about anything, your performance will be good. You will be able to, creative and all these things. In CA final or CA intermediate, sorry, we had the, many subjects. When I was studying in CA final, we have 8 subjects in 2 groups, right? Why some of the subjects we used to like anything, right? And even if we read 15 hours, 16 hours, we didn't feel tiredness, right? But there were used to be 1 or 2 subjects also which we feel like a compulsion, that because it's in subject we have to do it. Why? Because we are emotionally and positively attached to those subjects, right? So and you observe that in mostly in those subjects, those areas also, you have achieved higher grades, you have achieved kind of fulfillment. Yeah. So this is also a power of emotions. What is the difference between IQ and EQ? We always talk about intelligence quotient. Q means quotient, and now we are talking about the emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, right? First is that the focus. Your intellectual capacity focus on your academic performance, right? Your cognitive skills. And what is your spatial skills? What do I mean by spatial skills? Here I've written spatial skills, for those who don't understand, is that how you navigate effectively in unknown area or the things which you have not done before, right? For example, first time you are using GPS. Very simple example I'm giving. Okay. First time you are going into new areas. Okay. First time you're going at the new venue to which you are not aware about. How you can go there, right? Whether you use GPS effectively, can you reach there in a quicker manner, or you know the person whom you ask, and then that's what we call about the spatial skills. Very, very important skills. There is a discipline which they call is the STEM, STEM, science, technology, engineering, and maths. Okay, accountancy is also there, but the acronym is a STEM. STEM is about the spatial skills what you have. But emotional intelligence is about your interpersonal and your emotional skill and how you maintain the harmony in your relationship, right? Emotional intelligence is not about being operate in a silo, being operate in a solitude. It is also about being effectively operating in harmony, in tandem with others also. How you measure? IQ you measure by way of your cognitive skills, which is your logical reasoning, your problem solving, analytical. EQ is about your social skill, how you nurture and harmonize the relationship, how you understand well others. IQ is more of a individualistic. I am great in finance, I am great in accounts. It's all about me, right? EQ is about the relational. So I am utilizing here the difference in a way so we can understand it. Application, as I mentioned about in the learning and research, is also very important. EQ is about the leadership, collaboration, your team management. Last one is very important. As you all know, there is a research which identifies leadership in a two-way: transactional leadership and the transformational leadership, right? Transactional leadership is all about being little authoritative, being like a give and take relationship, being a little bit short-term in nature. Whereas transformational leadership is about how you handle the team, how you collaborate with them, how you nurture the relationship, how you leave the legacy, how you ensure the succession planning. That's what the transformational leadership is all about. If you want to be a transformational leader, which is a kind of characteristic of a very, very successful leaders, very, very successful entrepreneurs, okay, you got to have people management skills, you got to understand others with the social skills, and you got to have a very good amount of emotional intelligence. Okay, so that's why this one very beautiful quote which I present here from Fyodor Dostoevsky, a very prominent Russian novelist. What he said is that it takes something more than intelligence, takes something more than intelligence to act intelligently, right? So what is that more which we're learning currently is that emotional intelligence, right? I'm again, there are many friends who have joined this event. I'm thankful to our Doha chapter chairman, CA Kishore Alex, also for cascading information about this event to the wider audience within our Doha chapter members also. So I expect a large number of attendees from Doha who has joined, who might have joined over here, and from other countries also. So please feel free to give your feedbacks, give your points about anything what you like. And Pravina ji, you can also interrupt me and speak wherever you have to.
Yeah,
You need
one
to.
CA from the audience shared that controlling emotion, I passed CA final at the age of 71.
Oh, kudos to you. So, this is a very, very important, and I request to for such an achievement, any of your achievement also, please feel free to share. Uh, I would really love to connect with him or her, and
Yeah,
my
CA
deep.
Tarachand Agarwal.
So Tarachand Agarwal ji, my deep respect and very warm regards to you for setting up a legacy. Okay, if possible, please connect me on LinkedIn. In my last slides, you will have my mobile number, and please connect with me. I look forward to learn from you, to stay inspired by your journey. So thank you very much, Tarachand Madam. Congratulations, but thank you very much for sharing this. Clearing CA at the age of 71. We all feel that CA is a very difficult course, but not for the somebody like Madam Tarachand, who has cleared it at 17. I'm going to mention about this in my, subsequent lecture, wherever I feel I'm very privileged to know about Tarachand Madam Ji about your journey. So,
I think
recently,
achievement is with related to your slide only because it is passion versus emotion. She must be very passionate about being CA.
yeah, correct. So, recently President Sir has very kindly and graciously, thoughtfully shared some of such success story on his LinkedIn also. So this is also one of them about, so, it demands a lot of emotional intelligence to clear CA. We feel that it requires to clear CA at relatively younger age also. But I must tell, Madam, you are the youngest than most of us also, right? So thanks. Now let's dwell upon a little bit about passion versus emotion. Okay, so I would like to listen from the audience, their view, that what do you feel is the difference between passion and emotion? So, I don't want to influence you, but over the next couple of minutes, let's think a little bit that what is the difference between passion and emotion. We always say that, we are passionate about it. We always say that we are emotional about it. Praveena ji, would you like to say something?
I think emotions get may change over the period or due to some situations or circumstances, but passion, it increases over the period.
Exactly. So one of the difference, what you rightly mentioned, Praveena ji, the emotion is little bit, a short term or unstable. It's not but little bit short term in nature, whereas passion is, long lasting in nature. In fact, passion is the next step towards the emotion. Okay, if I'm say that, I'm very emotional about costing in my study days. Okay, I'm very emotional about the service tax which we used to have, now the GST or income tax, right? But next step is that I'm very passionate about it, and then only it's possible that I'm used to get good marks into it. So emotions lead to the passion. जज्बात ही सब कुछ है, जज्बात के अलावा जीवन में कुछ है ही नहीं, तो जज्बात ये इमोशन है, then it leads to the passion, right? Another thing is that emotion can be negative or positive, right? Normally passion is the positive. My passion is cricket. My passion is, for example, if I tell about myself, my passion is to share my knowledge, to serve my fraternity, right? Without any interest, with selflessness. That's my passion, right? Which is more concrete in nature, more positive in nature. As I mentioned, sadness, jealousy, getting disheartened, being mistrusted, being betrayed, probably. All these are emotions. And these are not, of course, not positive emotions. But passion is the positive. Somebody's passion is swimming, hiking, cricket, collecting old coins is the passion of one of my friends, right? All these are very, very positive passions. We have to understand that emotions lead to passion. So why it is important? It's very important to be passionate about. Unless C.H. Tarachandji was passionate about chartered accountancy, she would not even tried for chartered account, let alone the clearing it at the age of 71, right? She must be very passionate about it. And that's how she is able to connect with the chartered accountancy in a very passionate way. But good thing is that she has diverted her good emotions towards clearing CA and to make clearing chartered accountancy as a passion of her, right? So this is very important for us to understand, demarcate the difference between any view on that, Praveena ji? This is for audience to ask.
Yeah, I have a reply from the audience. Emotion can influence decision instantly, but passion guides consistent action over the time.
Absolutely. So this is very, very well said. And we all are very, very intelligent because we all are chartered accountants. So instant reaction is the emotion. And the the guidance about your decision making in a very long lasting way. It's about being passionate about. We don't say that, I'm watching cricket ever since I was of young age. Okay. So we don't say that I'm emotional about cricket. I'm very passionate about cricket because every weekend I'm playing cricket. Every now and then, even if I give priority to cricket, right? So that's what I'm very passionate about it. Right? The passion is more of a long lasting and positive in nature. In a nutshell, emotion can be positive or negative, but it is a short term in nature. But one thing we have to understand that the roots of passion lying emotions, right? So that's any other view, Praveena ji? I think that's any.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
it.
okay, fine. So these are the pillars of emotional intelligence. The whole theory, which now over the next 1 hour, we will delve into this little deeply. David Goleman has identified and popularized this concept of emotional intelligence a few years back, nearly 20 years back. What are the pillars of emotional intelligence in no particular order? Self-awareness starts with self, self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, social skill, and empathy, right? The first step is that understand your own emotions well. Then only you are able to regulate it. There is very beautiful, quote, which is my own quote, which I coined it, that what gets measured, gets managed, gets monitored, and gets mitigated. So this is in the control of, in the context of risk management, right? What gets measured, gets managed, gets monitored, and gets mitigated. So first step in the context of emotional intelligence is to have the measurement, have the identification, have the understanding of your own emotion. Unless you yourself are emotionally not aware or not stable, how you can manage others? Okay. फ्लाइट में क्या बोलते हैं, एरोस्टेस क्या बोलती है फ्लाइट में? दूसरों की सहायता करने से पहले अपना ख्याल करें. ओके, फर्स्ट थिंक अबाउट योरसेल्फ. अपना सीट बेल्ट पहले बांधे, फिर दूसरों की सहायता करें. दैट इट आल्सो गोज हियर, फर्स्ट यू गॉट टू बी सेल्फ अवेयर. First you got to regulate your emotion in a better way, manage them, and then you should be able to understand the emotions of others also. And that goes with the social skills also and motivation also. So emotional intelligence is the ability to understand and manage your emotions as well as recognize and influence, very important word, influence, the emotions of those around you. Friends, let's reflect for a minute. Isn't it very important? Okay, you want to get work done from your subordinate, from the people in your firm. Isn't it very important to understand the emotion and influence them for the advantage of you and your firm? Isn't it very important to influence the emotion of your client and empathize with their need, right? For example, why clients are not able to give the records in time so that you can file the income tax or GST return. Isn't it very important to understand it? No chartered accountant can deny the importance of the networking skills, right? And interpersonal skills, the necessity to develop very robust and strong and sustainable relationship with your client. The roots of this lies in being very, very emotionally intelligent, we ourselves, right? And empathy. It's very important. So how how to be motivated about anything. One of the skill is motivated. How to stay self-motivated person. Okay, there is a difference between intrinsic motivation and extrinsic motivation. You'll see it in subsequent slide. But पुराने जमाने में 2 तरह के स्कूटर थे. I give these examples. प्रवीणा जी, थोड़ा बहुत हिंदी चलता है ना?
Yes.
Okay. So पुराने जमाने में 2 तरह के स्कूटर थे. किक स्टार्ट स्कूटर एंड सेल्फ स्टार्ट स्कूटर्स, मोपेड्स, राइट? किसी किसी स्कूटर्स को किक लगानी पड़ती थी तभी वो स्टार्ट होते थे. एंड सम ऑफ द स्कूटर्स वेर सेल्फ स्टार्टेड. दिस इज व्हाट मोटिवेशन इज ऑल अबाउट. Intrinsic motivation is like a self-start scooters. Extrinsic motivation means you depend for your motivation on another person's, another factors is about the extrinsic and about the external motivators. Okay, so you have to understand this in a very effective way. How to say self-motivated, one of few things which I may share about being a self-motivated person is that, a lot of people tell me that you are self-motivated person because I don't depend on the external validation or external factors, right? How to be that? First thing is that always celebrate small achievements. There is no achievement which is not important, right? So even if you achieved a small milestone in your work, learn to celebrate. It does not mean that you do great parties and all, but what you do, you recognize the importance of it. Always recognize the importance of how far you've come. Okay, even if it is in a small degree, that is the key to stay motivated. Break down the task. Another thing is that in a small manageable assignment. If I have to do something over the next 2 years, okay, I will break down that what I am required to do over the next 2 months to achieve those. Take it as a project. Okay, go phase by phase. That will keep you motivated in an instant, in a very effective way, right? So that's very important. Another thing is that टेस्ट मैच में क्या होता है, हम सब जानते हैं ना, टेस्ट मैच 5 दिन का होता है. No test match is win by strategizing on straight away for 5 days. Effective test captains, what they do, they go sessions by sessions, and in each day there are 3 sessions. So they see that how I want to have an upper hand as a team in one particular session, and that leads to the victory of the test match and eventually to the victory of the, whether we call Border Gavaskar Trophy or Ashes, or nowadays that name is changed to the Anderson Tendulkar Trophy or whatever series what we call, right? So like in the test match, go session by session to stay motivated. Divide your task in a small manageable way to stay motivated. Okay. How to develop very good social skills, friends? Another important question, right? Although I have some tools and all, but all this we can resonate with our work, what we are doing day by day. They say that, to be very, very socially, I would say, acceptable and respectable person, always have the friends from the diverse background. That's one of the most effective tools. Okay. Most of people, what we prefer is that we prefer to befriend a person who is, let's say, chartered accountant, who is, let's say, from Gujarat, the state from where I'm coming. तो मैं अगर गुजराती हूँ तो मैं कोई दूसरा गुजराती होगा तो I will be able to befriend in a better way. That's not the right way. Expand your circle beyond your professional qualification, beyond your regions, beyond your religions also, right? They say that, one of the most effective tools to be a person with empathy, to expand your circle, is that be friend with the person whose first language is not same as yours, who is not in your age bracket also. Try to be a friend of the person who is younger than your age. That's where you learn from them. I do in my professional life. I always do interaction with the young students, with young professionals. Even I used to tell to the students also, CS students also, other students also, because I was a speaker in MET University, Noida, 3-4 times. So I used to tell them that, I always learn from the students. They say, oh, what you learned from us, you are 20 years older than us. So I'm revealing my age now. Okay. So what you learned from us? Then I explain them, no, I have a lot to learn from you. The way you look at the things, the way you pursue things in a quite different and newer way than I am doing, or than what I used to do when I was a student, right? So expand your circle in that way. Okay. Effective way about self-awareness, self-regulation is that always acknowledge your emotion first. If you are angry, okay, acknowledge that you are angry. That's the first step to mitigate and overcome the anger. Okay, we don't want to be the slave of the emotions. We are actually slave of the emotions, of all our emotions, but we want to manage that. We want to overcome that. So always acknowledge and there are effective tools and techniques for that, how to acknowledge it. So acknowledge your emotion, in a very unambiguous way. Okay. That's very important. That's the first step actually. Don't be in a state of denial about any of your emotions. If you are stressed out, acknowledge and tell to the people who are very close to you that no, today I am stressed out. When you are stressed out, they say, we are living in such a world that the person who is always smiling, who is always, mixing with others, always happy, always in social media, always happy, they are the most sad person within themselves. There is a research which says this. They are the most lonely person within themselves. Why this dichotomy? Dichotomy means why this paradox? Because he or she is not able to communicate the emotions with they really have, right? So that's very important to be emotionally very resilient person. And first step is to do this. Most of us, and I've seen that, are great in investment, and also I just thought to have a few slides over that. How how emotions impact the investment decision, right? So I have 2 slides on that. To start with, I mentioned that, investment, what we are doing in our life on stock market, mutual fund, real estate, gold, other assets, AIF nowadays, SIF, lot of things are there. Lot of revenue are not always driven by the fundamentals and by the logical reasoning. How? Let's see. Fear and frustration during downturn. What happens when Nifty goes down? We sell, right? That's the moment when we have to buy it. This presentation is not about investment and behavioral finance, but I'm trying to, highlight the importance or the influence of emotions on all these important decisions. Okay. Due to emotional instability, okay, the investor is likely to lose significant amount. Fear and frustration during downturn, greed and euphoria during peak time, right? During the peak time, we feel that market will go up only, right? Which is not the case. Nobody is above the market and nobody is above the economy. Nobody knows actually what's going to happen tomorrow into the stock market, right? Greed and euphoria also means that being overly optimistic about our expectations and about the outlook. So they tend to invest into the area of which they don't have any idea. Speculative trading, F&O, investment, or kind of that kind of speculation in the crypto are such cases. Very important theory. If those who want to know a little bit about it, get Google about the behavioral finance, how the behavior and emotion impact the finance. Overconfidence on our own ability, appetite, and knowledge. We all are chartered accountants. Yes, we are. But we should not be overconfident about our knowledge also. There are experts who are into it. So, overconfidence about the knowledge leads to disaster. Overconfidence about our risk appetite. Okay, not done in a very planned way. And our own ability. So that is one thing. Excessive optimism or pessimism. Okay, that is also one of the aspects of emotions, that we are excessively pessimistic that abhi to kuch nahi hone wala hai, and then we come out of it. And that is the next thing which I mentioned over there is the capitulation. Capitulation means you surrender to the economic downturn and you get out of it. Okay, that's what is capitulation is all about. Excessive optimism is also not good. Of course, it's not good, right? Denial mode. Again, one of the, very, very interesting thing. When we are not emotionally stable, when we are not emotionally resilient person, we will not be, and that's what I mentioned, friends, earlier. One of the first sign of being emotionally intelligent person is that you are able to decide over the things in a quicker and in a positive, in an effective way. If you are indecisive or if you are constantly in the denial mode about something, it means that either you don't have idea about what you are going to do. The root cause of is that you are not emotionally intelligent person, right? The exactly opposite of denial mode is that the mentality that I have to invest. I know many people, कुछ भी होता है invest करना ही है बस. It's not like this. In the cricket analogy, if I say, on every ball you cannot hit 4 and 6ers. The wisdom also lies in just staying connected on the pitch, just like Rahul Dravid was used to do, for example. Right? So I have to invest is also one of the sign that you are not intelligent person. Capitulation, I already explained. Over or under diversification. Okay. Emotionally unstable investors normally used to over diversify. There are people who have investment and without any logic, जो भी फंड आता है उसमें वो इन्वेस्ट करते हैं. For example, I know some people who have investment into 55 mutual funds categories. Okay, can you believe it? Hugely over diversified, because that those people are not emotionally stable people, right? Finally, YOLO and FOMO. I don't know, you must be knowing about this. FOMO is the fear of missing out. What is the meaning of FOMO? Fear of missing out.
Yeah.
How much return silver and gold has delivered in last 1 year? Must be 50%, 45%. Just after this, if you exclude this time of last 15 days, it used to be 50%, 55%. I have to invest in silver now because I have missed out. My friends have great so much huge return in silver. I don't have any investment in silver. Let me enter now. And what happened next day after Dhanteras? Silver was down by 15%. Okay, gold was also down. Because you are facing that phenomena within you is fear of missing out. And that's not about the investment only. Somebody is enjoying their own life in their own way. Somebody is in Mercedes, somebody has a big plot. I also want to have this. Friends, every people's life, every people's journey, every person's background is different. Just because somebody has done something, you need not to do it. There is a beautiful proverb in this regard. There is an African proverb which they say is that every monkey cannot sit on the same branch of the tree. Every monkey cannot sit on the same branch of the tree. It means what works for some person may not work for you. So, you see, don't ever have that FOMO mentality, especially the young generation are having this and they're actually getting victimized of this FOMO mentality. So that is also the roots of being FOMO is that you are not emotionally stable person. You don't have that ability to analyze things well, and you don't have that critical thinking ability, right? So FOMO is very bad. It's not about investment. Again, I'm saying it's about your lifestyle. It's about your relationship. It's about everything. YOLO means you only live once. Okay. You only live once means whatever you earn, you try to spend it. Lifestyle inflation is one of the example, which is relatable to this term YOLO. You only live. Lifestyle inflation means the expenses which you spend more, which is not out of your necessity, but out of your lifestyle related thing, which is not in existence in real. So always be emotionally very stable person. Save yourself from both YOLO as well as FOMO, and identify that you are not doing something in an emotional way. Most of the people are doing it. They invest sorry for bad throat. They invest in what they call narrative based stocks. Okay, what are the narrative stocks? The stocks which is highlighted always in media, the schemes which is highlighted always in media, and there is a great narration of false positivity around it, right? That's called narrative stocks or narrative sectors or narrative investment. Always, immune yourself for this. We always think that emotions impacts only in personal relationship, only in team management, only in the people to people management, right? That is one aspect, but this is very important aspect I thought to mention. Again, that's why I'm telling there is a big science which is revolving around nowadays about this investment, which is called the behavioral finance. How the behavior and emotions of the person impact the finance and investment decision, right? So there are a lot of things, attached to this. As we know, I know some people who are always buying thing on a particular day. because that is his birthday, for example. Okay. So if my birthday is 20th November, now I know many people with this example who will buy certain scheme on 28th day of a particular year, on every month. Purely emotions based. There is no logic to it, right? We should be, we should stay away from this kind of thing. So this is what it is about. And there are certain kind of bias into the investment. All this is result of sign that you are not able to manage your emotions well. You're not identified your, so this is just a last slide on this, and then we'll move to other aspects. Again, this is not about investment or behavioral finance, but how emotions is impacting your investment decision, your finance, your crucial decision of your life, and your biases. One of them is herd mentality, bandwagon effect. Okay, because everybody is investing in one stock or fund, mutual fund, I want to invest, right? Herd means you follow the crowd. The crowd which you are following has a different risk appetite, different knowledge, different ability. Another is the anchoring bias and recency bias. Anchoring bias means what? That any feedback about it, because we all are CS, please feel free to share. Anchoring bias means what? Due to my emotions, whatever information I received firsthand, I believe it to be correct. I don't verify that whether it is correct or not, right? How far we have seen that because something is said by some influencer or something is said by on the TV channel, which we always like, we always follow it. It is called anchoring bias. Yes, it's good to be guided by them, but always apply your own emotions and intelligence to it. Recency bias means what? Because something has happened recently, it will always going to happen, like that. Okay, this is called recency bias. AI is one such example. It's not a bias, actually, it's an ongoing thing, but we always believe that it will continue, and in a great way. So which confirms our belief. Loss aversion bias means what? Emotions. Now, how it is, I will explain you. They say that, loss of losing 50, so I'm just giving one example. Loss of losing 50 rupees is much more painful than pleasure of earning 100 rupees. Loss of losing 50 rupees is much more painful than joy or pleasure of earning 100 rupees. Due to that, what happened? Due to this mentality, due to this psychology, what happens is that the investor will never book his loss. Okay, they will keep on seeing the loss because they don't do that, will hurt his ego, his or her ego, right? So loss aversion bias. Confirmation bias is same like anchoring bias. I already mentioned about the narrative based investment in my previous slide. Endowment effect is what? Whatever I have, I think that it is overvalued. That's called the endowment effect. Always demarcate, friends, in a nutshell, your emotion with your decision in investment or any of the financial decision of your life. Always ask yourself, whenever you are doing, in this case, investment, are you doing it by being emotional, or you have the factual data, factual reasoning, logic and facts before you, and then you, right? So that's very important. This is the last slide on this. How the person today, by the way, those who follow stock market, they will know that today Nifty has recovered around 200 points from its day low, right? When I was before this session, I was saying that. So Nifty has recovered 200 or 250 points from its day low. Exactly this cycle is that. When it was low, what we will feel here? Despondency and capitulation. Okay, the point of maximum financial, this is where the opportunity lies. But what we all will feel, that it's a doom day now. Let me get out of it, right? So whether it is for the day or whether it is for the turmoil for extended period, this cycle holds true. We start from euphoria. When market goes up, we are excited, we are thrilled. Isn't it all the emotions we have observed in ourselves, right? Slowly we move in a denial mode. When it is a stagnant, now what is this stagnant since a year or so relatively. Okay, when the Nifty touched is all-time high on 26 September 2024 till now, a little over 1 year, it's in more or less in the denial and fear mode, correct? And then this start. We don't know and we don't hope that this will come. Again, it goes up. We, as a professional, as an investor, as an advisor to our clients, have to be able to be resilient, be very stable throughout this cycle. And that's my point of highlighting this. Okay. Any other feedback or anything, you may please feel free to
Yeah,
share.
actually, chat is flooded with the questions.
Okay, so madam, what we can do, I think it's a great sign that it is having, we have 45 minutes or so.
Yeah,
So
I think we can take 1, 2 questions and you continue with your presentation. Can we do that?
yeah. I think let's take two questions, whatever you like.
Yeah.
I was sure of it, yeah, because of this investment and all. We
Yes.
don't want to highlight too much on it, but take two questions, please.
Okay. Thank you, sir. During time of stress and deadlines or organizational change, how do you personally practice emotional self-regulation?
Can you repeat the question, madam?
Yeah. During time of stress, deadlines or organizational change, how do you personally practice emotional self-regulation?
Good question. So see, when we say about self-regulation, okay, it means that you have to be, just a minute, I'm drinking water, madam. So when you mention about the self-regulation, it means that you should be able to be attentive to your needs and to your belief. Okay. So first sign is that always be attentive to your thoughts, your feelings, and what is your ground reality. Okay. That is first sign. Self-regulated letter means you are able to regulate your emotions. You are able to regulate your reality, right? And you are able to control it. Actually, first step to before self-regulation is the self-assessment. As I mentioned earlier, friends, never deny any particular, there are methods to see how to, so you will be able to have deep insight into it now, but never deny anything what you are feeling. If I am under stress, yes, I am under stress. If I'm angry, yes, I am angry. So if you are a self-regulated person, if you are able to identify your emotions well, you will be able to identify stress before it becomes anger. So normally stress is the first sign. And क्या होता है जब हम stress out होते हैं तो we don't feel good. Okay, we need to vent it out. There is a beautiful words. We need to vent it out on others, right? On the people around you. And often the victims are our loved ones on that. So, identify the stress before it turns into angers. Self-regulated means first thing is that always know your emotion well. Second thing, always know that how you want to respond. Most of us react to the situation. Hardly few of us respond to it. What is the difference between reaction and response? Okay. Reaction means reaction is always instant and impulsive. Respond is in a thoughtful manner, and it will not be always instant, right? So to this situation, what a person has asked, always try to respond to it rather than react to it. Always know that you have a choice to respond also, right? In fact, they say that there is one wonderful words I have in my subsequent slides, that always pick your battles. Pick your battles means always know that, okay, in life we don't have only one conflict. Okay, we will have 2 or 3 conflicts. Okay, we all are fighting around battles, as they say. Correct? Pick the battles which is the most applicable to you in an urgent way. So for example, I'm facing the situations that I'm not getting increment. I'm facing the situation that I have a fight with my cousin. I'm also facing the situations that, I'm expecting something elsewhere, but I'm not getting. These are the conflicts. These are the battles, silent battles, which I am fighting. Which battles require more attention? Not all. Always pick your battles wisely. That's what it is saying. So to answer your question, this is very important to pick your battles wisely. Know that you are going through under particular emotions. How to know? We will see that. Acknowledge it and talk to the friends who understand you. Be guided by a mentor, trustworthy mentor. Yes, next question.
Yeah, many professionals believe AI is an innate quality. AI is an innate quality, emotional intelligence. Something you are either born with or not. What's your take on that? Can it truly be developed over time?
Oh, of course. What did you say? First thing, innate or inborn quality, you mean?
Yeah, innate quality, something you are
Okay.
either born with.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, no, it's very good question. Yeah. So I think kudos to you, Pravinaji, for picking this question also. See, because emotional intelligence, friends, is not a static science, it's an art and it can be taught with. Okay. As I mentioned, we will see two methods on how to assess your emotional intelligence and how to improvise your emotional intelligence, right? So, of course, it can be improved. The 5 pillars, what I mentioned about that, see, everybody is born with emotions, right? For that matter, even animals have emotions, but we are social animals. Only human beings are social animals, right? Not all animals are social animals, but everybody is born with certain kind of emotions. But how to acknowledge it, regulate it, how to identify and influence others' emotions also is all about being emotionally intelligent. So yes, we have emotions, but emotional intelligence is all about how to regulate it in a better way. Yes, I think we'll get last question because these are very important one.
Okay. Yeah, it is not the question, but the comment. Your emotions are your enemy in trading. So,
Of course. Yeah. See, that's what, see, because, friends, we have seen a lot of people who are getting victim because of emotions. There is a impulsive trading. As I mentioned today itself, Nifty was down by 200 points, then it was up. So when it was up, there is those who are traders, we should not be traders, or we should not be in even F&O, or we should not be in crypto. I am not doing it. I don't have any idea about all these things, but we should not do it. Okay. But they are victim of this herd mentality, which I mentioned over here. They are victim of this recency bias, and they are victim of all these things. So that's why I thought to mention it. Yes, it's absolutely very well said that emotions is actually is an enemy as far as your investment decision goes. And we have heard and we have seen a lot of people falling victim of very wrong emotional picking and all. That's why I thought to mention over it. Yeah. Yes. So I think we will go to different slide.
yes, sir. Please continue with.
So I just have out of my all these 40 slides, just I will take 2 minutes, on what is the emotional intelligence in the Bhagavad Gita and Mahabharata. Those who know a little bit, if you want to improve your emotional intelligence, okay, the best, probably the best book in the world, is the Bhagavad Gita. Okay, not going in a religious way, but if you see that how it teaches us to be equipoised person. Now, what do we mean by equipoised person here is that the person who remains same in case of anger or agitation or pleasure or pain. स्थित प्रज्ञ बोलते हैं उसको, जिसको पता है इसका, उसको स्थित प्रज्ञ बोलते हैं. द पर्सन whose pragnya is स्थिर. Pragnya means buddhi, wisdom. Okay, sthit means the stable and stagnant. Even in times of agitation, or even in times of aggression, or even in times of anger, or even in times of pleasure or pain, the one who remains stable, the one who remains resilient, is the most successful and most respected and revered person. So there is a term called equanimity or equipoised person, which means the sthit pragna person, the person whose, as I mentioned, whose wisdom is stable. How to remain calm under pressure? Yudhishthir is the one of the examples for that. Even during dice games, okay, he was the one who maintained calmness. Anger management, two type of people. Let's take one positive, one negative person. Okay. Duryodhan is the classic example who was having high amount of anger, and whose anger probably demolished everything. Draupadi is the one example who was also having some more, other kind of anger in her life. Okay. Extreme disgrace which she faced. Okay. What she did with that disgrace is that she motivated Pandavas, to fight for the cause. So, not in a nutshell, we all have anger. One is able to destruct the world because of his anger. Another one is able to direct that anger in a more positive way. द्रौपदी का तो नाम ही वही है, अग्निशिखा. हाँ, the one who is born from Agni. तो उसका नाम वही है, अग्निशिखा. तो anger, so she was also, has that anger as the quality, but she channelized the anger in a positive way, in a larger cause. Empathy, Krishna was not dealing in the same way with everyone, right? With Shishupal, he did in a different way. With Draupadi, he was doing in a different way, right? Resolving conflict, how when he used to take that the proposal of peace to the Kaurava, yeah, that was the classic example how he tried to resolve the conflict. And what he did, he listened attentively, right? He identified he had the larger cause, which is to bring the peace and justice, right? Purpose-driven action. A very important thing is that leaders' action should be driven by the purpose. I have one slide over it that how it can lead, So the war of Kurukshetra was also had a purpose. The bigger purpose was that to had the peace. Strategic wisdom. The classic example of that is that Vidur, right? Who was having great amount of sagacity and wisdom and used to guide his king in that way. And last but not the least, how you manage and how you manipulate others' emotion. It is also very important. Some people are very great at manipulating the emotions of others. Classic example in Mahabharata is Shakuni, who manipulate the anger of Dhritarashtra, of Duryodhana mostly for his own advantage. And then comes the cycle of the revenge, because he was from one state and his sister was married to the blind king. He decided that now I will destroy the blind, that kingdom, which is of Kaurava. Okay, and in turn, the cycle of anger and revenge continue, because what Gandhari, vowed to him, that now because you did what to my kingdom, your will also be destroyed. So in a nutshell, let's not be the manipulator for others' emotion, like what Shakuni in this case. Okay. And I also identify the person if anybody is manipulating our emotion, right? How you manage others' emotion. Classic example is Krishna, that how he managed the emotions of Arjuna during the Gita, because during this Kurukshetra war, because Arjuna was not ready. He was a bit pessimistic. He was not ready to fight for the larger cause. How Krishna motivated him by managing his emotion. So these are those who are interested can, in fact, there are a lot of sessions in which IC has also done on this, Gita and all these things. So I just thought to have one slide. Excellent book, especially how to be the Sthit Prajna. There is a beautiful word in this regard, is the Jal Kamal Vat. You have to be the person, how the lotus is there into the water. Jal Kamal Vat, right? It's a Sanskrit word. It means that when the lotus is in the water, lotus does not get drained by the water, right? Lotus still blooms without getting drained and without wet. In the similar way, in the company of other people, we should also be a very stable person, a very resilient person emotionally. And that's what this session is all about. I mentioned about power of purpose. Okay, Mark Twain very beautifully quoted. I remember, I used to write an article on this, that 2 days are very important in one's life. The day when he or she was born and the day when he or she found out why. So when your why is very strong, why is very clear, it means that you are driven by a larger purpose on your life. Okay. So what is the power of purpose for emotional intelligence? There is one personal example I will share over here. As you know, some of over here that I'm based out of Doha, Qatar. And during the COVID time, my late mother was a cancer victim. Okay, then she passed away in 2022. At that time, she was a cancer victim. And the time was, I was located in Qatar. She was in Gujarat. I couldn't travel. I'm talking about somewhere about December 2020. Acute COVID. At that time, we had 14 days quarantine. So I couldn't travel. The only son of a mother, only kid of a mother couldn't travel to see her when she was when cancer was diagnosed in her. Finally, I could go, I could travel, even with the quarantine. When returned, I did it. Friends, when I reached to see my mother, I lost my father. So I traveled during COVID time to see my mother. I lost my father, and then I had to return. Why I'm telling this, that when I lost my father, after a week, I was supposed to be the chairman of the ICI Doha chapter, to serve the fraternity, to serve the members, the oldest overseas chapter of ICI amongst currently 54 chapters. When I delivered my acceptance speech, because we do that mundan, we shave our head, no, after when we lose any parent, right? Even the hairs didn't come. It was just, before 10 or 15 days back, I lost my parents. I started my terms. Why I'm telling is to underline the power of purpose. I started my term as the chairman with the help of the team. We did the great things. Even within the term, I faced a lot of difficulties on personal and professional front, including on my job front. Okay. Still, why we could make a difference, I would say. Praveena ji was kind enough to mention about first overseas chapter award and all. Okay, thanks for that. But why we could achieve that? Why we could make a difference as a team? Because I had a very, very strong power of purpose within me. That whatever has happened is not in my control. But whatever I have to do now, okay, whatever the responsibility I have been assigned with is in my control, and I have to take everyone along, including our management committee member and other friends, right? So that's what this is one of the example, the personal example I always quote to highlight the power of purpose for emotional intelligence. How to do it? You zero in. So you know what is your strength, right? You zero in means you identify effectively. You also identify what are the obstacles of life and fears. You adapt I mentioned about the adaptability and resilience. Resilience I mentioned. What about the adaptability? I mentioned about previously, the great example of adaptability and flexibility is from Krishna's life. But you have to be adaptive to the various situations in his life. Okay. Empower and trust, power of purpose, and become a collaborative leader and take everyone along. Okay. And a mentor. They say that, you cannot play a symphony alone. You need an orchestra to play it. Okay. In musical concert, nobody is playing a solo instrument, right? You have a friends and people and the team with you. So together, everyone achieves more. Okay. So these are all one of the most effective, I would say the cornerstone to be successful is to have the power of purpose. Your why should always be more strong than your how. Okay, why you want to pursue certain things, and for that, you need to be very, very emotionally intelligent person. For example, I always tell this in some of my sessions, other sessions also, that if a sailor is sailing in an ocean, right? Sailor has the enough amount of fuel. The captain is skillful, right? It has enough safety arrangement, safety measures to navigate the turbulence in the sea. What if the sailor does not know even that where he is leading? he will not lead himself anywhere. And the irony is that not only he, but the people around him is also will not go anywhere. That's what exactly about the power of purpose. But to do that, you should be very, very strong, resilient within yourself, be emotionally intelligent. And somebody mentioned about gratitude in the feedback. So that is also one of the very important things, right? So as I mentioned, please, type in chat box any of the feedbacks or points you have. In appropriate time, we will take it. So Pravina ji, what we will do, we will, you have a lot of feedbacks and all, so at whatever, whenever you feel, with the 2-3 slides interval, please feel free to share. Okay. So now, let's spend a minute or two. Please answer. What do you think? Whether stress is good or bad? Please answer. And meanwhile, Pravina ji, let people answer. You please mention about other points or feedbacks, So let's try to cover.
Yes, there are questions like how can emotional intelligence help to bridge communication or generational gap in diverse professional team? So it is like how emotional intelligence help or to communicate or bridge the generation gap in diverse professional teams.
So emotional intelligence, if you have a diverse professional team, when you were to communicate it and when you have to bridge the gap between the generation, I think it's a very good question. Okay. Meanwhile, please answer whether do you think stress is good or bad? See, first thing is that you need to be empathetic. You need to step into the shoes of the person, because like what is asked currently, the person with 40 years of age will not tackle the problem in the same way with the 60 years of age tackle, right? So you need to be empathetic. Empathy means, does not only mean sympathy. Empathy means you are actually stepping into the shoes of the others. So you think from their perspective little bit. That's how you will be able to identify the issue or problem or the need from their point of view, and you will be able to communicate in a better way. And then of course, like when you demarcate between your age, your different professional background or other things, when you are empathetic, you will take all these differences into mind, no? Whether you are a CA and somebody is engineer, whether when you are a 40 years age or somebody is of 60 years age. Okay. So these are the diversity, whether you are from India and another one is maybe from Qatar or maybe from, UK. So these are the diversity, understand them well, understand their background well, and communicate in a way so that others don't feel offended or more than offended, misguided or misunderstood. So do we have any answer on stress? Pravina ji, any thought on stress? What is your thought?
According to me, stress is good because it motivates you.
Of course.
And so stress is good when you able to manage it.
Yes, correct. But do we have any answer from the audience?
Yeah, actually the answer I got, stress is good because we should know how to be into it.
Very good. Very good. Yes, yes.
Stress helps when it is balanced. Stress harms when it's continuous and unmanaged.
Yeah,
These are
so
the
I think
response.
let's discuss a little bit on that, First thing, so second thing I mentioned now, that stress harms when it is unmanaged. Stress harms when it is uncontrolled. Okay. But friends, there are some stress which are good stress also. Like, they give example of we got a new job. It means we got a better job, right? That's what, let's understand that. We got a better job. First day of our job. First day of our job is always stressful because it's an unknown stress, but it is also good stress, right? Because we are going to we are venturing into something new, something exciting, something which we ourselves has accepted, but it's unknown. and hence it is a good stress. So first day of the job is a good stress, you know. And another example of good stress is taking some challenging assignment. Okay, it is also a good stress. But of course, when there is a breakdown in the relationship, right? When there is a death of a loved ones, or when there is a misunderstanding, acute misunderstanding and communication background between the person who is close to you, who is your close friends, these are all example of the bad stress. My thought is over here is that, okay, don't take stress in a negative way always. Okay, stress management is an art. Okay, effective stress management for the good stress means that you are able to navigate the stress in a better way, and you are going to get something which is more enjoyable than what you are getting now. That's what good stress is all about, right? And bad stress impact, in fact, both the stress impact your physical thing. Bad stress impacts your sleep, your food habits, your lot of things we all know. Good stress impacts also those things in a very positive way. So, you know, let's utilize the stress. Let's identify whether it is a good stress or bad stress, just like a good cholesterol and the bad cholesterol. Okay. And let's try to, you know, manage it effectively. That's why I thought this question. You know, we are making it interactive. I'm thankful to all the attendees who are able to, who are answering it. That's the real essence of this session, right? So now let's measure the, you know, emotional intelligence assessment.
Sir, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt in between. There are many people who have answered this question. I would just
Yeah,
request
please.
Praveena ma'am to just read at least so that people should also know that we are also looking towards their queries and
Yes,
Oh,
responding.
yes. So the comments are stress is good when it churns one's ability to perform, and stress is bad if it is downfalls one's ability to perform. So it is like related to outcome.
yeah, I think it is a
And
very perfectly, I mean, all of us understand in a very nice way. Yes. Then,
and okay, and the another is yeah, okay. Stress is good if it doesn't control your thoughts. Stress helps to be focused and deliver our duties on time. We should be mindful that stress should not paralyze our thoughts.
oh, that's a nice way to that he or she has nicely articulated. It should not paralyze our thoughts. So that's very important for us to understand. Okay, that, you know, any stress should not be a bottleneck in our performance, in the way we take up the things, we tackle the issue, and we deal with others. Okay, so we should be, and that's what the mindfulness is all about. You know, I don't know, many of us would have you know, listened this term. Mindfulness means what? The ability to be mindful about our own emotions, about our own stress, and then to be able to manage the same. So I have very interesting, you know, just one case, you know, there was a mother and the daughter who went to the hypermarket. Okay. And the daughter was kind of 3 or 4 years old. So not too grown up also, not too small also, not at the age 3 or 4 years. No, who understands everything. So she was asking about the chocolate, a big bar of chocolate, you know, and first she started asking in a very nice way that, Mama, I want this. And Mama was a little bit rigid that, you know, no, I'm not going to develop bad habit in her, eating too much sweets, you know. So she started that I want it. And then Mama didn't say anything. So she was telling, then she started making tantrums that, you know, started crying and started, you know, making all kind of pleading to her, you know, being very emotional. Mama was telling that, no, Poonam, you have to be very stable. Okay, you cannot behave like that. She started, she started going at the next step. You know, she started rolling on the floor in the hypermarket. Mama was telling, no, Poonam, no, you cannot behave like this. You know, you have to control yourselves. You know, in front of all people, she was like talking to herself and to daughter that, no, Poonam, no, you cannot do like this. Okay, she was very firm. And then one elderly person was there. He was watching all these things. Then this daughter also become more angry, rolling on the floor and jumping and, making lots sounds and noises and all. Mama was telling calmly that, no, Poonam, please control yourself, please control, everything will be all right. Then that elderly man told that, which kind of behavior is this? And you are still tolerating the tantrums and mischiefs of Poonam. The very wise mother replied that Poonam is not her name. Poonam is my name. Right? This is what, friends, emotional intelligence, managing stress is all about. Now, if we understand this, if we are able to practice this, then I think we should stop our sessions here rather than going for next 20 minutes. Okay. I hope you all understand. She was not talking to the daughter that you behave in this way. Why you are? She was talking about herself. That no, I have to control my behavior in the way I said. Poonam is not her name. Poonam is my name. I am talking to myself that how I have to control. Right? So I think let's move ahead. So emotional intelligence assessment. This is one of the methods. We will see one or two methods that how to assess it with an online tool. So there is a very beautiful book by Travis Bradbury and Grievous Jean. Okay, these all are available online. Okay, this nowadays, this is available online. You can buy it with a very nominal fee. There are 133 questions to it. Utilize it for yourself, your team, your people, or for anybody. Okay, utilize it even for the career development. If you want to give promotion to somebody, you can utilize it. If you want to, utilize it for your articles clerk, your other team, you can do it. Globally accepted. How it functions on self-perception. It measures your with the help of this 133 questions. We'll see some of them later on. I have identified 5 or 6 difficult questions. Self-perception, self-expression, how you are interpersonal in thinking, how you are, how is your decision making is impacting your emotions, how you are managing stress, right? We mentioned about stress. So how flexible you are, what is your stress tolerance level, right? So how do you know that your stress is turning slowly into the anger and into the havoc? Sometimes it happens, right? We all are human beings. We also need to vent it out. Okay, so that's what it is all about. So this is one tool, emotional intelligence assessment. It is called EQI 2.0, the latest method. It asks the questions on the self-actualization, on the emotional expression, on the interpersonal relationship. What is the amount of or the degree of empathy you are having towards others? Okay, are you able to listen to others at least? See, understanding others is next step. Further next step is accepting and implementing others' idea. First itself is to listening others. Are we able to listening to others, then understand others' idea? How can we create the personality so that others listen to us, right? So that's what the empathy is all about, correct? And very important thing is the impulse control. As I mentioned that, we should be able to respond to certain situation, but instead of it, we react in a very impulsive manner, right? So this is one case. Another case is that about what we call the psychometric test, a very, very widely used test, again available online with very, very nominal cost, and it will tell you that how emotionally intelligent or how emotionally resilient you are, right? So these are the psychometric test measures. What we have, it measures your cognitive skills, your emotional intelligence, your work personality, and your motivational level. I used to give the test and take the test for the people which I want to hire in my team. And when I was applying for my jobs and all, I used to apply for this test. I've seen many reputed employers are spending money on psychometric test to conduct before taking a decision whether to hire a particular person or not, right? To measure your emotional intelligence. Because interview, it's not everything. Interview is like if I tell so in a very light way, it's like arranged marriage. Okay, you have very limited time. You are going to hire somebody for many, many years. You have a time of just 30 minutes or 1 hour within which you decide something, right? But the psychometric test is the next step to see that. Some of the examples, what are the red flags if the person is not emotionally intelligent? And these are all things are impacted in our personal life, okay, and professional life. Procrastination. Procrastination means to delay the things without any reason, right? Just to delay. Some people like to delay the things, without any reason, even if they are not doing anything, even if they are not occupied, the deadlines are never met. Okay, deadlines and meetings and decision they are always in denial mode also. Sign that you are not emotionally intelligent. FOMO I mentioned, constantly comparing with ourselves with others. Everybody's journey, everybody's background, everybody's aspirations is different. Let's not compare ourselves with ourselves. Compare ourselves only with ourselves. Let's better ourselves than what we were yesterday. That's the hallmark of a growth mindset. Another very, very interesting thing. Taking things personally, we are living in a very momentary world. Okay, we don't know whether we will be here tomorrow or not, to be very honest or not. Okay, so let's not take things in a very personal manner. किसने कुछ कह दिया, किसने कुछ कर दिया हमारे साथ, somebody has told us, especially told us something. Words hurt us more than it should have hurted us in our mind. What we have seen it that, especially words from the loved ones, because expectations are only there with the loved ones. Even anger are always there only with the loved ones. Okay, so but let's try not to take things personally. Inconsistent routine and feelings, it means that suddenly if we are waking up normally at 6 a.m, suddenly without any reason we start waking up at 8 a.m or at 4 a.m. Inconsistent sleep. There is a big science of sleep nowadays. Okay, why people are losing the sleep? I know one of the person came to Doha, Mr. Luke Coutinho, a very renowned, person in this regard. Luke Coutinho, who is a consultant of many actors and actresses. He mentioned that there is a magic where happens in our body when you sleep. I remember this word many years back. He mentioned there is a magic happens in your body when you sleep peacefully. Okay, avoiding conflict or disagreement always, saying sorry without any reason. Okay, apologizing without any reason. It's not sign of softness. It's not sign of kindness. It's a sign that you are not emotionally intelligent. If you apologize with somebody, mean it. Okay, there are two stages. Apologizing, saying sorry means I'm feeling sorry that I hurted you and I will not repeat it. But saying sorry constantly, avoiding someone, avoiding conflict, disagreement always, it means you are not very strong person within yourself. Two of the things from which we have to be immune within ourselves is the self-validation. Okay, to do certain things, we depend on others' validation. Only when others say that you are doing great, you will do great, then only why don't we become a self-validated person, motivated person? And self-victimization. मेरे साथ ही ये हो रहा है, मेरे साथ ही ये गलत हो रहा है, I am the only one who is victim of it. This is a sign that you are not emotionally intelligent. Nowadays, very important is the over-reliance on social media. Why we click photo? To upload on social media, right? Why we go somewhere and eat out? So that we put as a story. Okay, unless you are earning money from social media, which is another thing, you are influencing, you're earning money out of it, don't rely only on the social media. Overuse of social media is the sign that you are emotionally weak, you are emotionally intelligent person. Your social media should follow your real activity. You do social media, no, there is no doubt, but doing only social media and doing it in a hollow manner. Hollow means in an empty manner to show something which you are not. It's a sign of being emotionally weak people. And feedback, there is a method which we discuss. So we'll move on. A very beautiful quote about this. This is not a question, so nobody need to answer. You can give your feedback. Unexpressed or hindered emotions will never die. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will always come later in a very uglier ways. Isn't it true? Whatever is your unexpressed, whether your love, whether your feeling of hatred, whether you are motivated, whether you are sad, whether you are distressed, agitated, there are 100 type of emotions which we have. They will never go like this. And that's why science of emotional intelligence is very, very important. If you try to suppress it, if they are buried alive, and they will come out in an uglier way. They will reflect in your performance. They will reflect in your routine. They will reflect in your health. They will reflect in your relationship with others. Right? So always remember it. The very profound quote from Sigmund Freud. So how to improve the emotional intelligence? You mentioned, sir, you mentioned all these facts. How to improve it? 2 methods. Grounding method, okay, for self-actualization and self-realization. This is a very profound method which is used. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So what does it basically mean is that one of the great requirement of being emotionally intelligent is that you live in the present. Priyamvadaji, we can have kind of 10 minutes with your permission or so. 5, 10 minutes.
Sure, sir. Sure. We can have.
Okay, fine. Thank you. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 means it means that if you have some, ugly things to be remembered about your past, if you're always in the past, they say past is prison, and there is never great thing we remember about past. Normally, we always remember about the ugly thing in past. This method brings you into the present. That divert your emotion, right? 5 things you can see is that means you can see your kids, for example. Okay. You can see your surroundings. You can see if you are in the room, you can see your air condition. Okay. So you can see, so it brings back into the present. Very easy. 4 things you can feel. This is all our 5 senses. जो हमारे शास्त्र में किया गया है ना. If you observe, these are 5 senses what we have. 4 things which you can feel right now. 3 things what you can hear. You can hear traffic sound. You can hear some of the sounds if you're at home of your family or your kids. Somewhere some music is playing, you can hear. You can hear the chirping of the birds, right? These are all will bring you back into the present. 2 things you can smell. If some scents, some perfume. And of course, 1 thing you can test, because there is no great motivator or the mood lifter than the food which you truly relish. So this is one of the methods, quick method. Jot it down when you are under stress, and you will be able to manage your stress, especially ugly memory of the past. You will be able to erase it and bring it into the present. So this is one of the methods. All this called mindfulness, friends. As I mentioned, mindfulness is the concept where you are able to identify and mindfully divert your emotions in a better way. Use an anchoring statement. Anchoring statement means what?
Yeah,
So
all is well, like it's the statement from the movie, all is well, all is well.
All is well, yes. And it's about yourselves, that I am Nirlep Bhatt or I am Pravinaji. I'm attending the session of EI, and this 3-4 sentence, okay? Anchoring statement about your present. So it will lift your mood. It will motivate you. Practice self-kindness. Listen to your surroundings. Yeah. Savor your food or drink what you like, as I mentioned. And last one is the visualize a daily task. This is, it means that, to encourage ourselves within us, there will be some task, definitely, being at office or being at home, whether we are homemaker or whether we are executive, which we actually love to do. Some people love to arrange their cupboard, for example. Okay. Some people love to, we are not talking about love to scroll on the mobile, which is a completely another thing. But some people love to do some constructive activity, gardening or that kind of thing, managing daily stuff. Arranging cupboards, even small things. So you visualize it, that what you love to do, and that's the way. Okay. Emotional mapping, another technique. So it's like a dashboard of your emotions. Okay. See which kind of emotions we have. You always feel that we are angry. You can be irritated, you can be resentful, you can be miffed, upset. We can be mad also at somebody, right? And we can be furious also. So this is a dashboard of your emotion. What we are required to do is that draw your body. This means that how it impacts your body actually. Draw your body and see that how the particular emotion is impacting any parts of the body. You map the emotions. That's how this word is used. So stress leads to, sorry for sore throat, but no, it's not due to emotional or any other issue. On a lighter note, stress leads to restlessness and lack of focus. Correct? We all observe bad stress. So from today, let's start speaking that whether anything is a good stress or the bad stress. Sadness brings a sense of numbness to the arms or leg. Many people have seen, and there's a research from one university in Finland that if you are sad, okay, your arms or your legs will become numb. Okay, you will not be able to move it freely the way you want. Happiness creates warmth and energy in the chest. We have seen many people when they are excited, when we are excited, what happens? Our face becomes radiant or turned big reddish, right? So how the emotion is impacting, as I mentioned, I've seen a lot of people who say that, due to emotional turmoil, I have a joint pain. Due to emotional, I am not able to sleep well due to some stress, and that impacts your, let's say, face or eyes. So there's the emotional mapping, a very profound method, provided we do it consciously. What? As I mentioned, when we suppress our feelings, our body take on the job of holding them for us. I'm suppressing that I'm feeling loud. I'm feeling blessed. I'm feeling, excited. I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling hopeful. I'm also suppressing if I'm feeling dejected, disappointed, distressed, or, restless. What my body will do? Body will take all this job on body itself. And then it will display us in an uglier way. So this is about the impact of bad emotions management on the body. When we suppress our feelings, our body take on the job of holding them for us. But the question is that, are we willing to listen? And for that, we need to do the emotional mapping, which I explained. So another method for this is the journaling. So what do you do? Journal means diary mein likhna, in short, in a very plain way. Facing fear. So what's the one fear you encountered? How did you cope? So jot it down. Okay, that will give you some kind of hope or encouragement. Success stories. How far we have come far. Not what is our aspiration, but what are the small achievements we have achieved in, let's say, in last 1 month. Can be anything. You made someone happy. You achieved something on the work front. You achieved something in your family life. You have done something which you aspired to do. Your hobby is like that. Write a letter to your emotion. Okay, be creative. Write a letter to the sadness. Write something. How you are feeling. This is your space, friends. Don't feel about grammar or even language. Right? Letter to your emotion. Deep dive why. I mentioned about the purpose. Pick up an emotion. You are happy. Why you are happy today? Jot it down. Journal it in a 3-4 sentence. You are sad. What has made you sad today? Again, it's not bad, but it's very important to identify it. Okay. Processing your emotions. And that's what Krishna did to Arjuna. That he processed the emotions of Arjuna. And then we all love application. There are apps to do it also. I mentioned few apps, Reflectly, Day One, 5 Minutes Journal. These are all the apps. Reflectly is one of the apps which is very, very, very useful and is right. So journaling is one of the best method to improve your emotional. There is no doubt about it. Okay. So that is one thing. This is for the audience. Gratitude journal. Somebody already mentioned about this. Reflect on a recent challenge or setback. Some challenge which you see, some setback which you've seen, somebody which has not gone as per what you desired, right? Instead of focusing on the negative, find one aspect to be thankful for, right? In every challenge, in every adversity, friends, There is always lies an opportunity. Always. Pick up from your life. This is what we don't want to hear it here. But you introspect, self-analyze. Okay, what is that one adversity, one challenge, one setback, one bottleneck, which has made you strong, which has made you emotionally resilient, which has brought some hidden blessings to you? They say, no, unless one thing ends, another cannot begin. So sometimes ending, even if it's not a happy, leads to the opening of another thing, right? Any adversity has taught you resilience? I have many adversities, and all adversities have taught me resilience, correct? Help you discover an inner strength, anything, right? This is called a gratitude disguise, gratitude in disguise. So this is a part of gratitude journal. Again, any feedback or anything, we will just finish now. You can mention it. Yeah. What are the benefits of journaling? Journaling, very, very important. It increases the self-awareness. It processes your emotion, as I mentioned, by picturizing it. You are giving words to your emotions, right? It boosts your self-esteem. Okay, journaling also, you develop the articulation. Some people are very great at articulating anything. Okay. They articulate the thing so well. It means whatever they feel it, they're able to express it also. One of the very, very important skills. It doesn't matter whether expressing in a written or in a verbal manner. Okay, but articulation. So this is the feedback, last method of improve. How to give feedback? What happens? In short, this is a cycle. So what happens when somebody gives you feedback, right? Somebody has told me that I am good. For example, somebody has told me that I am bad at something. Okay, it sparks the emotions first within me. That's why I mentioned emotions speak first and fast. I'll be instantly, think that, is it correct? Who is saying this? Why is saying this? What I did wrong to him in the past, right? Emotions comes into play first in a fast way. Then self-reflection starts. Then either I confront it or accept it within me, and then the behavioral changes come into it. So this is what we have to understand when we give the feedback to the others. There is a great method is there about feedback, which is called 360-degree feedback, where employees are receiving feedback not only from his or her managers, but also from his or her subordinates, from his or her peers, right? And from his or her suppliers and vendors also. In case of MNC, I have seen it. I've been receiving 360-degree feedback from distributor, from the channel partners, that how please give feedback, and that will be completely confidential, only for this analysis purpose, right? So this is very important. Giving feedback is one of the effective way. What the tips which we have to give? Briefly, just I will explain. Positive note, I already explained. Use the I statement. Now, what does it mean is that, in my view, this is not perfect way. I have observed this in you. Rather than saying that you have done this, rather than saying you have spoiled the project, we say that, in my view, the project is spoiled. I have observed that project is spoiled. See the impact. When you say that you have spoiled the project, means it is an accusatory tone. You are accusing somebody. So use I statements here. Okay. Focus on behavior and not on personality. Be very specific when you give the feedback. Okay. Don't tell that you've done this in the past also. Don't taunt them. Some people have that habit of taunting somebody or saying in a very indirect way something. No, don't do it. This will be remembered. Taunts will never be forgotten. Remember the taunts of Mahabharata, which Draupadi has taunted to Duryodhan, right? So taunts will be, the matter will be forgotten, but the taunts brings a lot of emotional wrongdoing in the. So don't taunt anybody if possible. Be direct, be specific. Motivation we discussed. Empathy, I already mentioned that it's, stepping into the shoes of the others. That's what we call empathy. One step ahead of the sympathy. How to develop empathy? Listen attentively, Okay, handle difficult conversation. Don't avoid the difficult conversation. In fact, this was the first question which was asked by somebody, that how to handle. There is a beautiful book if you want to read that, how to handle the difficult conversation. Identify the why behind somebody is doing this. Okay, don't see the things as it appears. Use mindfulness and see that why a particular person is behaving in this way. Okay, if somebody is abusing you, for example, okay, please identify that what has led this person to do this. I'm not telling you forgive or forget completely to immoral. Remember, okay, but if you know the why behind the behavior, you yourself will be at peace and able to analyze the situation in a better way. This is very important. I've seen many people who are great in arts, especially into the painting. They are very kind and soft hearted. In general, I am telling. Okay, so if you want to develop empathy within you, take some interest in the hobby, in the creative hobby like arts or music or any kind of hobby. Okay, and outdoor sports, team sports. Okay, why it's important? Because sports teach you to lose sometime. Losing gracefully is also an art, which is one of the dimension of the empathy. Conflict resolution strategy, I have mentioned most of them. Pick up your all battles. Not all conflicts are worth fighting in life. We all are, facing always more than one conflicts in our life. Always pick your battles. Means concentrate on the conflict which demands your more attention, which is worth fighting. Leave aside some other, conflicts. Other things I have already mentioned, how to develop the trust and be facilitator if you happen to resolve the conflicts between two parties. In fact, this itself is a conflict resolution is a particular session topic which I have spoken upon, so I will not speak. And active listening and all, we all know it's how to have authenticity. I have just 2 slides now. Mission driven, sense of purpose, self-awareness, authentic leadership, shared success, focus on improvements, constant improvement. Okay, that's what the authentic leadership is all about. And these are the final questions I have. You need not to answer this question, but these are the questions of a psychometric test. Okay, you need not to answer now. You can answer yourself, write somewhere, discuss with your loved ones in a way you want. Okay, explain a scenario when you had to work cohesively as a team. So you have a team of people, but these people are those people you don't like. We don't like everybody. It's a fact of life. And there is no reason normally for us to dislike someone. Some people, we don't like them. It does not mean they're bad. It does not mean we are bad. Just we don't like them. That's it. We don't gel well with them, right? For example, how you worked with them as a team. Explain it. These were the questions which were asked to the candidates, and they are required to explain the scenario or the situation. Describe a time when you had to deliver some bad news to someone. I think this was the first question which was asked today. We explained it. Give example of when you had to be confrontational to somebody to achieve the result. This also we covered, that you actually confront with someone, but you have to achieve the result. How do you recover from failure? Failures are stepping stones in life. Nobody is immune to failure. If you're not failed somewhere, it means they say you've not learned somebody. In fact, I always say that the full form of failing is that first attempt in learning. That's how you take failure, right? What kind of behavior makes you angry or annoyed? And finally, how some of your closest friends describe you. Okay, they will always not have a great opinion about you, but it will be frank opinion. So these are the things. We are finishing it now. I always mention the learning outcome and summary, what we did today. Role of emotions in various facets of life, IQ versus EQ we discussed. We touched upon little bit on behavioral finance and all, mythology we touched little bit. Great amount of audio instruction. I'm thankful to all of you and to Praveena ji for passing on the queries and feedback. And we discuss about the techniques of mindfulness, especially on the journaling, right? I always mention about the book. We have to be a good reader. All leaders are good readers. Leader itself contains the word reader, right? Read is the word in the leader. Whether we read it or not, but these are the books I always, refer. We mentioned about this book on the Travis Bradbury. Excellent book, Art of Empathy. We all must read it. And this is about me. I am active on LinkedIn and the phone number, email ID. So anytime I can be contacted for any professional purpose or guidance. Praveena ji, I think this brings ends to my talk. If allows, we can have a couple of feedback and question because we are 45 minutes away, but we started little late. So I leave it on you now. Yes. And feel free to give any feedback or anything what you have, any questions still can. Yeah.
I think the most of the questions asked by audience were covered by your latter part of the presentation. And you have shared so many things that every slide is having, if we have took it, every slide will have a 2 hour session because it is like got therapy and questioning and everything.
Yeah.
So
Thank you.
I think the Work-Life Balance Committee will be uploading this webinar on the ICI channel, and please go through this channel multiple times to have the most from this session. Thank you very much. You have covered so many things. And in detail, you have shared the techniques, how to identify it. If you measure it, then only you can have the solution it, or you can further improve it. So definitely the audience has got so many things from your presentation to take away, and to manage, to identify their emotions, to identify their stress, and they are able to identify them and manage them, or become aware what is it.
Exactly. That's the first step. Now,
Yeah.
madam, just one thing only. See, why I covered a few technical things also, because see, there is no point in just, speaking and going and saying some general stuff and all. So basically using this time-tested concept, analogy, anecdotes, my own story, I tried to make it relatable and relevant to the people. And we all are chartered accountants. We are intelligent lot, right? I'm not being a self-elite person, but so we have to, there is some expectation from a speaker also on a
Yes,
writer.
definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. The question actually it was repeated, so I just take a 1 minute to mention, and I request you to answer it in short. How I can create space between trigger and response without withdrawing into silence, reacting aggressively, or delaying my response too much.
Can you repeat it?
Yeah,
No.
how I can create space between trigger and response without withdrawing into silence or reacting aggressively or delaying my response too much.
Okay, so very good question, very mindful question. See, you want to create a space between trigger and response, right? So one thing is that you have to, I mean, in this case, we need to have a very good, first of all, have the personality which know how to manage the stress. And we identify the stress, identify the root cause of stress, these two things. That is very, very important. Okay. Next things comes is that we respond and not react. That's I already mentioned. And we know that when particular emotions turns into more acute emotions, right? For example, happiness. So, okay, let me tell you, happiness can also lead to being excited, right? And excited being led to being ecstatic about something, right? Sadness lead to, so there are layers of emotions. Okay, sadness leads us to getting demotivated, and demotivated may also lead us to getting disheartened, and being disheartened will lead us to being depressed, right? So we don't want to go from sadness to getting depressed. So within this layer, we need to first of all do some self-actualization measure, that at which stage we are at. Always, respond and don't react to any situations. Develop some amount of patience within your personality. And I think this is the way to handle this case effectively. Yeah.
Thank you very much, but sir, you have took the time and delivered such a wonderful and interesting session on the topic how emotional intelligence can be used for the trust, teamwork, and transformation. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for Work-Life Balance Committee for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
I think we can stop the recording now. Or yeah.
Please, all are requested